Well, I'm on a long journey. We originally thought it would be about 4,500 miles. I now think it'll probably be at least 5,000 miles. We're calling it TrekEast. And the main group sponsoring it is the Wildlands Network, but other conservation groups are very much involved as well. And it is a conservation journey, so we're trying to reach out to other conservation groups, other conservationists, learn their stories, learn their issues, and I have a blog and I write about it in wildlandsnetwork.org is where all this stuff is running. But what I've done so far, with a lot of help from conservation colleagues, is I started in Key Largo, North Key Largo, in John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park, because of course that's a very important coral reef. I think it's the largest protected coral reef in the United States, and one of the very few coral reefs in the contiguous states. And I think it's also one of the oldest marine protected areas in the world. So I wanted to start there for reasons to show the importance of marine ecosystems as well as terrestrial ecosystems. Did some snorkeling and kayaking there with friends and colleagues, and then cycled over to Flamingo in Everglades National Park, and began then a long canoe trip with some other conservation friends and colleagues on the Wilderness Waterway. We did some nice side trips, including the Nightmare and Wood River. So it was about a 115-mile journey. Wonderful, wonderful trip. We took about a week, took our time, had wonderful sightings of dolphins and manatees and crocodiles and alligators and hundreds of wading birds. It was just a great trip all around. The aim of, and partly there's several purposes of this trip. Obviously one is just it's a physical adventure, and I like physical adventure, and I enjoy exploring wild places, and I enjoy hiking and paddling and bicycling and all that. So that's certainly one big motivation, but really it's bigger and more important reason for the trip is to try to help publicize the need to protect big wild areas and to reconnect them to one another. I think the conservation biology community is pretty well shown that isolated parks and isolated refuges and so forth are valuable, but they tend to start losing species over time if they're not connected. If they're just isolated islands of habitat, they don't do very well in the long run. So I'm choosing places to visit, partly based on their wildness and their naturalness, and partly to be able to tell stories about the need to reconnect places. When we physically launched the journey in John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park, we were greeted almost immediately by a manatee, which seemed like a good omen. It was a very nice starting point for the journey, so that was very special. We are hoping that the Wildlands Network website and my blog and my talks and just the awareness we're trying to build will actually inspire people to take actions to protect wild places and protect wildlife species. We really want not just to raise awareness, but actually inspire people to take actions. And there are lots of things people can do. They can join a land trust, or they can be conservation-minded land stewards if they own their own land. They can allow animals to travel through safely. They can support wildlife crossings on busy roads. They can drive more slowly at night. There are a lot of things people can do, and I hope that this journey will somehow inspire people to take actions for wildlife.